So, hello everyone. Welcome to this HIMASI podcast with me again, Mr. Haris. And today we got unbelievable guests, and they are the winner of English competition in 2024 in speech competitions. And here they are, Pandu and Galan. Give applause for it. So, hello, Pandu and Galan. How is it going?
Fine.
Just raining right now in your side, right? You good?
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for both of you guys for coming to this podcast and willing to use your free time today. Yeah. So yeah, before we are going to talk about the topic, I guess we need more introductions about both of you guys. Maybe the audience wants to know more about you. So maybe both of you can introduce yourself to them. Like, what are you in university? Who are you? Or even in your daily life? Maybe yeah, you want to introduce?
Nah, brother Dallas, come on.
Maybe Galan. Okay.
Everyone, my name is Fujitullah Galan from fourth semester in science.
Real plus Galan. Okay, so kind of.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pandu and Galan. We call Pandu. Mathematics major, fourth semester.
Okay. So we got unbelievable guests here. As I mentioned before, both of them are the winner of English competitions in speech contest. So the topic is in this podcast was actually related to that. We are going to talk about how to be a good speech former. Yeah, maybe I believe in both of you. Both of you are competent in this public speaking or speech itself. But yeah, but first thing first, I want to ask my personal questions. So I do often ask these questions to the people I met before when some people are able to speak in English. I want to ask about why and why. What is it? Why and when did y'all actually start to be interested in learning language English language? A question like that.
Best?
Sure.
Right.
So, contrary to like popular belief, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. How do I say this without sounding arrogant? I learn English because it's a way for me to cope without people saying that I'm cringe.
Uh-huh.
So when I'm about middle school, started just like speaking English, trying English again and again and again, say weird stuff, cringe stuff.
Uh-huh.
And before I knew it, I joined some competition, won some, and eventually I'm here.
So that's why you're interested in English because you're joining some competitions with English. Okay, interesting. So how about you, Galan?
When the first thing I started listening in English was actually in kindergarten. I was actually very proud in counting to 1 to 100. Yes, kindergarten. But English. Yeah, you can call me pretty good in English, but I'm not really fluent or anything. Like this podcast, I'm really nervous actually.
Yeah. Okay. That was interesting.
I have participated in speech English before. The first time it was in 11th grade, I think, and it was also from HIMASI Unma, the English tutorial festival. And yeah, I did print, but it was never really in my.
So that was really surprising for you.
Yeah.
That was interesting. So let's get back to the topic, I guess. So as I recall, both of you are joining some competitions, right? So could you share with us how actually competition itself? Is there any experience before you're joining NCOM in competition, like related to English? Go on, so.
Let me clarify. Okay. So, what is my experience in
Yeah,
competition?
in competition before joining NCOM.
NCOM?
NCOM.
English competition.
Before, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So sorry, silly me.
What did I do before I do English competition? I think for as far as I remember, I've been doing the only competition I've been joining is like English, right? English-based competition. Started. This is funny, right? Because he said in 11th grade, the first English competition we joined is from HIMASI. Yeah. What's the
Special
Yeah. I was also like that. And
Uh-huh.
one of the first competition I joined was in 12th grade English competition.
Uh-huh.
It was also from HIMASI. It was what was it?
Academic, what is it?
Academic, something like that. Yeah. It
Yeah.
didn't go so well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, didn't translate with that speaking. But yeah, that was one of my first experience before delving deeper into this.
Mm-hmm.
English.
Okay. So what about Gun?
Yeah, as I said before, my last experience was only that last time.
Mm-hmm.
In grade, and I never really joined in any competition after that, especially in English competition. So uh, for this year, for last competition, yeah, maybe that's all.
Maybe that's all. So okay, that was interesting. So I want to ask to both of you: did you find it when you already joined the competitions? Did you find it that public speaking was your passion? Is it your passion to be doing public speaking?
Okay, before I go first, I want to ask you also a question. Before, is it before, right?
Now, after you joined some competitions
Oh, after
or
some
even
competition.
yeah, is it?
I think, well, after a long time, right? Mostly it's just like, I think it's not so much of the speaking itself that interests me. It's more of like, hey, I could go to the stage, say whatever I want, and people will listen.
Okay.
An example of this is like to that talent show.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the stage. I speak about how much I hate talent show in a talent show. I think that's what I love about public speaking. Is just like at the end of the day, it's just like me expressing stuff.
Okay. But what about calendar?
Public speaking was never actually my interest, and I hated it. I still hate it. Even though I'm from political science, and of course we learn public speaking in the first semester, but no, it can help me to form this competition. Like for example, I use some of the technique from my lecture. Yeah, like example, it's about engaging with the audience. Not always have to talk, but it's also the
Okay, that was interesting. So I've seen Galan work actually. It's new for you. So did you find it is your passion or not?
you know.
Still no. What about Pandu?
I mean, there is an opportunity for me to go up on the stage. I'll probably do it, but I wouldn't say it's my passion.
Okay. That was interesting. So let's ask getting to the next questions. I think this question is we're actually related to all the people who are actually trying to do public speaking. So I want to ask both of you, when you are trying to do public speaking itself, like speech or the other, do you often feel anxious or scared when you're going to the stage and looking from the audience?
Of course, right? You cannot get rid of the fear. You always, when you go on the stage, when you see like the audience faces, you always felt anxiety, right? And I think I don't even agree with this, but at the end of the day, it's not about getting rid of your fear, right? But actually doing it while being scared.
So you still scared or no? When you're trying to? Yeah, still. So Galan also, how you share or your experience when you're trying to go on a stage to overcome the fear itself,
I think always make sure to be calm and like focus on what you're trying to say, especially if you already understand it.
So you just be calm first. But what about you, Pander? Is there anything that you do?
It's just, I don't know if this works for other people,
Uh-huh.
but when I'm about to go to the stage, my anxiety usually go up to the roof. So what I do is I get up, I walk to the bathroom, I scream in the bathroom. I genuinely just like, either I recite my script in the bathroom or I just scream.
Okay,
And then I just walked out.
okay, that was very interesting. Yes, actually.
You get rid of the not the anxiety, but the nerve, right?
Okay,
Like,
okay.
the tension.
Okay. That was very interesting. So next, I want to ask about in the stage itself right now. Going to the next one. How can you guys maintain your performance in the stage itself? Like, can maybe some people are. I've seen some no competition in competitions. There are some contestant. They are actually stuck. Doing posts like didn't say anything again. How you actually can maintain those
I think
in your
question,
experience?
this guy would have to ask a compelling question. Is you
Maybe I don't know.
you are in social media?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do?
Uh, so what we learned in science is
Mhm.
that you don't have to put all the efforts to the what we have to say, but how do we say it?
Mm.
So yeah, when uh, you learn that every script that we made for public speaking,
Mhm.
it's not that much because it's so little, but the interaction for the audience is the most important one.
Okay. That was just. Pandu, do you want to say anything?
I think for me, if you said an example about like some people are just like sitting still, their
Mhm.
head is go blank.
Mhm.
What I usually do, right? My technique for that is before that happens,
Mhm.
I usually pause.
Oh.
You realize I pause there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great technique before your brain overload, right? With
Mhm.
nerves, anxiety, you intentionally pause. That's what I do. So
That's the technique you do.
that's the technique I do. If you
Okay.
look at my speech, there's a lot of pause where I just like, and then speak again.
Yeah. But what about filler words? Because me myself also, because when I'm trying to do public speaking, I do a lot of filler words in my speak. And sometimes I think some people were actually annoyed with that. Feel annoyed. Do you actually have some filler words also in your speech? Filler words
So
is
it's just
like
like something you say, like you always say.
or
This guy, if you know this guy is saying
I always like to see
something, yeah,
or even saying
like saying things like that.
Are you actually still using that in your public speaking?
You?
No, I first stick to the script.
Oh, straight to script. Okay, that was interesting. So, Pandu, do you have any?
Yeah, I think it's just like the nature of what you're trying to do, right? If you're giving a speech, most of the times they're like, what we're according to script,
Mhm.
right? So filler words usually doesn't come out often,
Mhm.
but when it do comes out, I think best way, in my experience, is to do pause. Is just to pause.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I think that's the greatest technique I've ever learned. Public speaking
Okay.
is just to pause.
So we actually should avoid using a filler words, right? Shall we?
How do I say this, right? Don't overuse.
Don't overuse it, right?
Everyone have a different way of speaking,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't mean filler word is bad.
Mm.
It's just don't overuse it. If you notice it, just chill the fuck out.
Okay. Yeah,
Don't panic. It's okay. It's fine.
that was interesting. Okay. Okay. So next, you know that in competitions there are a lot of competitors. There are a lot of contestants. How can you manage yourself to to feel like you are the best one to compete with the others?
Mhm.
Do you have anything for that?
Actually,
Because both of you guys are the winner of Ancom on 2024.
I never think that I'm the winner. I always think that I'm the worst one. So then
Mhm.
I get over it. Some says that uh, over expectation, so you don't get excited.
Mhm.
So that's maybe what I do for every competition because when you get disappointed, you hurt so much.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was interesting. What about Pandu? Sorry.
No, there's two ways to approach this. Where you either this is the opposite of like low
Yeah.
expectation.
Okay.
You increase your expectation to the
Mm.
to heaven, right?
Mm.
You think everyone is bad. You
Uh-huh.
hate everyone in the room. That's one way to do it. But if you lost, as I said, you're gonna hurt so.
Yeah,
That's one way to do it.
it's worth it.
Unironically,
Mhm.
I used to do that. Unironically, when I was at like early stage of high school, I used to do that. It's like that's
Mhm,
And I lost. I got a depressive episode for like 3 months. I think I cannot do anything. It's just like,
Okay.
how can I just throw like that?
So I will see that everyone have different,
Yeah.
different ways to see something.
Oh well, you want to win, yes, of course you win.
Mhm.
That's like if you're in a competition because you want to win, right? Have that mentality of wanting to win, but at the same time, it's not about winning. It's about like, do you actually do your best? I think
Mhm.
that's what you need to put. Yeah? It's like, did I do my best?
So all you gotta do is pull up yourself,
Yeah.
do your best,
Do my
right?
best.
The stage. Okay, that was an interesting answer. So okay, next. So I guess we are going to move into some questions that most people may be waiting. It is about this topic about how can be a good speech former. I want to ask both of you about how are you guys actually preparing your speech, like starting from the research itself, the writing itself, or even the practice. Maybe we'll just start from the research. How do you guys actually do some research before you're doing your speech? Once to
Okay, hold on.
okay.
It's like, I want to hear your answers because it seems like you're more structured than I am. But how do you do it?
Yeah. You actually know the truth that first thing is the writing process, the research of the material.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being helped with the
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
at first, yeah. And then, as I said, I add some technique for my lecture. Like, maybe I don't know, remember this clearly, but there's there's technique called four-on. Is the first one is opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and second one is I forgot a bit.
It's okay.
And third one is option, and the fourth one is action.
Mm-hmm.
So I only use the third one and the fourth one, the script.
What is it?
The,
How is it about those four things that you mentioned before? How you can actually implement it to your research?
for my research, it's helpful because now it's very stick to the technique, so you don't get lost in the finding a way which way you go next.
Uh-huh.
So you always stay on the line.
Okay, so I can see that Galan is using AI and also other techniques to prepare your speech, to do some research on your speech. Well, what about Pandu?
Yeah, I agree with like what he said.
Mhm.
When he went up the stage, right? And well, you go before me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he went
Mhm.
up the stage, like it was like, I see that this guy is like really structured, like he knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, maybe this guy's gonna win. I was surprised I win. He also won.
Mhm.
But I thought this guy's going to us. But yeah, I agree with what he said. It's structure. And I also use ChatGPT as a way to get an idea.
Mhm.
So personally, I'm more chaotic than this guy
Okay.
in the way that I make my script.
Okay.
So when the notion comes out, what we need to script for, I
Mhm.
usually think of what's the first thing I can ask. Usually, it's not good. That's when I go to ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, this is
Okay.
what I found first. Do you have any sort of other recommendation that I can do?
Okay.
An example of that is when back in again the talent show. The
Okay.
first thing that I think
Mhm.
about, okay, wouldn't it be funny if I go to a talent show, have a speech about hating a talent show?
Okay.
That's my whole speech. I think that's my first step is from an idea,
Mm-hmm.
and then you bullshit your way through all the other ones.
No kidding.
Yeah, you just write anything down,
Uh-huh.
and then thank God for AI because usually I cannot do this.
Okay.
After you write it, go ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, does this make sense
Mm-hmm.
in the context of this notion? Does this make sense? And well, you see the feedback from ChatGPT and continue doing it again and
Okay.
again and again until you feel like, okay, this is
Good enough.
good enough.
Okay.
This is good.
So okay,
Process.
I can see that from Pandu. You first thing you do is looking for the main idea, and you are trying to write some shit that you do other things that
Yeah.
kind of make sense.
Yeah.
and they're trying to consult with the AI.
Yeah.
So I guess using
Consult with the AI.
yes,
Not make the AI make for you.
yeah. That,
Different thing. Different thing.
that was very different. That was very different. So yeah, using AI for positivity is actually not a crime.
Nah.
Yeah, not a crime. That was interesting for the research. And next one is for the writing itself. How you'll actually write the speech.
As I said before, right? The first thing was the main idea, and I
Mhm,
work it from there. If the
mhm.
main idea, let's say, brownies, for example,
Okay.
right? The main idea is brownies. I really like brownies. It's a wonderful cake, but I hated the fact that the colors are brown, something like that.
Mhm.
I keep doing it again and again and again, and then said in the process, give it ChatGPT. Does this make sense? Is it funny? And if ChatGPT said no, I write it again.
Okay.
That's my writing process.
Okay. Well, are you racist anyway?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
no.
bro.
That's just an example.
Sorry.
Brownies and brownies.
Sorry.
I'm nothing against the brown. I'm nothing against the brown.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, what about got it?
Well, I always use topic that I really like psychology. And
Mm-hmm.
you see that the competition I use that mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So that I can see that you're doing it in a funny way.
Nah.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in a more serious way, but uh, always have to try your best ups.
Okay. Well, what about the writing itself? Do you actually, maintain the structure itself of the introduction, the main body, the conclusion? You find it, take it seriously or not?
Yeah, no matter how chaotic it is, at the end of the day, you need some sort of structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to have an opening. You have to have like, what is it like actually talking about? And you have to
Okay, that was interesting. Okay, about the next one is actually the practice itself. After you research and also write all the script, how do you guys actually practice? Are you often focus on memorizing or delivering?
okay.
What?
No, for me, it's always the delivery.
Delivering. Okay. Well, can you tell us more about that?
I watch a lot of videos. There's this one TikTok video,
Mm-hmm.
and I really like the performance herself. It's the student from Aceh,
Mm-hmm.
and her performance was really magnificent, and that was my inspiration for the performance skill.
So you're, practicing with on social media, looking for
Yeah.
some role model that you are trying to. Yeah, that was very interesting. Focusing on delivering, maybe, not memorizing. Okay, that was interesting. But what about hunt?
I do both.
Do both of things.
Because, as I said before, right?
Mhm.
I don't think like public speaking is my passion. I wouldn't say it is my passion. I'm going to say my passion is
Okay.
writing.
Mm.
I'm going to say my passion is writing. So sometimes I just wrote things that I forgot, and when I try to memorize it,
Mhm.
so when I well, not memorize, train.
Okay, train.
Yeah. So I train myself to just memorize while also trying to deliver it. Sometimes you write, like let's say about the brownies again, right?
Mhm.
There's like many ways you can like deliver it.
Describe
Like
it.
this guy,
Mhm.
like inspiration stuff like that. There's many ways you can relate about it.
Okay.
Even with one text, you can go about it so many ways.
Do you have, you guys have any specific technique to actually practice your public speaking or speech?
Yes, yes.
Any techniques?
Other than my lecture set,
No. What about hunt?
Because I wrote it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I understand the majority and remember the majority.
Mhm.
So I think the technique is just to write it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, write it yourself.
Yeah.
Don't make the AI write.
But what about memorizing itself? I found it hard for me to memorize something, especially reading all the script in speech. That was very hard for me. Do you have anything that you want to say to overcome this?
That's why I. Do you have any?
I'm still struggling with the memorizing, and actually, the script itself was cut in many times,
Mm-hmm.
so that it gets shorter, and I get to remember it for the last time.
Okay, that was interesting. What about Pandu?
The trick to memorizing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you just gotta keep like this is like the most oldest technique. You just like keep speaking about it, keep doing it again and again.
Okay.
Eventually, you'll understand 90% of it. You're never gonna understand 100% of it.
Mhm.
Sometimes that you have to improv on
okay.
this on stage. Then
Mhm.
we have to do that. But even if it's like 90%, I think you just have to keep doing it. Preparation again and again and again. Even like 5 minutes before you go to the stage, you have to do it.
So I can say that we're just doing some practice throughout lah. Doing some more practice. Okay, that was very interesting. I was going to the next question. I want to ask about the public speaking itself. Do you find it that doing public speaking, giving some positive impact for you? You have any view of it? The positive impact of you doing some public speaking. Do you find it?
Do you have any impact at all?
For me itself. What about you?
Okay, so as I said before, it's not my passion, but
Mhm,
it does give me the opportunity to like
Mhm.
present myself. I think it's just a way to present myself. I think.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on what public speaking you're doing, right? If you're like public speaking like to an audience,
Mhm.
I think that is inherently right. The impact is for you only.
Mhm.
Like we're talking about public speaking where you're like talking to strangers, right?
Yes.
Talking to giving berkah, something like that.
Yeah.
Right. There's always a different positive impact depending on the context. So
Mhm.
if we're talking about the context on the stage, for me, it's a way to express my opinion so that I don't get depressed.
Mhm.
If we're talking about public speaking to strangers,
Uh-huh.
positive impact,
For
give you
you,
confidence.
give you
Yeah, give you
confidence.
confidence. Talk to strangers,
Mhm.
they smile, give you confidence.
So it was about
Plus,
yeah.
if they're beautiful.
It's all about giving you expressions of you and also improve your confidence. That was very interesting. I think we are going to the last questions. It was for the audience. I can see that some people they are still hard doing speaking, or maybe they're still struggling, or even scared doing public speaking, like speech and other. Do you have any advice for them that may can build their confidence or anything for the audience?
Seriously?
Some
I
advice.
mean, you know, as you might already see, I'm not the orthodox person. I'm not the majority. Not the majority of the people. My ways of doing things are chaotic and well uncommon. So the only advice I can give you is write like crazy, speak like crazy, and after you've done it crazy amount of times, you're crazy enough to go on the stage.
Okay. So what about Galan though, right now?
Well, I'm not the expert myself, and I don't know if I'm the best person to tell your advice.
Mhm.
But for me, that as a very ambitious person, always do your best and you know forget what other people said and try to get over
Mhm.
uh, what difficulties that in the process of the public speaking.
Okay. So those advices maybe we can implement it in our way, for the audience itself as like audience, they can, use that way for both of you guys. So I guess that was all for this podcast, guys. I want to say thank you for both of you, Pandu and Galan, for the winner of English competition on 2024. That was for the how to be a good speech performer in this sessions. Yeah. So yeah, as across this episode, real talk, no cap, HIMASI.